Just got a new tornado warning issued. Let's hop down onto that. This does include Sugar Land and southwest parts of Houston and Harris County. So let's get on top of that one. Okay. All right, this is a severe thunderstorm, and we're going to have to go off from this live stream onto TV. So we need to get back onto broadcast. Okay, so we need to get back onto broadcast because we now have a tornado warning. I'm going to give the information on the live stream, but as soon as we hit broadcast, let me know so that I can get our viewers on TV up to speed with what's happening. Okay, so tornado warning until 12:15. This is a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located over four corners or over town west, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. This is radar indicated rotation right there along the Highway 59 corridor, moving through Sugar Land. So from New Territory over towards Sugar Land. We're going to go on to TV here in the next 2 seconds. Hello again, this is meteorologist Travis Herzog in the Weather Center with David Tillman and Rachel Bryars. We have a new tornado warning that was just issued, including parts of Fort Bend and Harris counties. This is currently the radar indicated rotation here between New Territory and Sugar Land, right along Highway 59, I-69. And this is moving off in a northeasterly direction, east-northeast at about 40 miles per hour. Radar indicated rotation here, but it does include Sugar Land, parts of Missouri City, right on into southwest Houston, so kind of rolling right up the southwest freeway is where we currently see this rotation. Okay, it's radar indicated, so there's not confirmed that it has touched down, but at nighttime you have to take the radar as if it were on the ground and treat it with that kind of severity. Okay, so the impacts there will be flying debris with any potential tornado if it does touch the ground, and so we're looking at the potential for damage to homes, mobile homes especially. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles can occur, and tree damage is likely. This storm will be near Stafford, Meadows Place, and West Chase around 11:55. So that's within about 5 to 7 minutes. It will be near northern parts of Missouri City, Alief, Westwood, Brayburn, Brays Oaks, Midwest, and Briar Forest around midnight. Bel Air, Hunters Creek Village, Bunker Hill Village, Piney Point Village, Spring Valley, Hedwig Village, Hillshire Village, all the villages there, Sharpstown, Gulfton, and the Galleria around 12:05 is when there's the potential that rotation will be passing through. Now, the rotation is a lot smaller than this polygon that is drawn on here, but we have to warn for a larger area because sometimes these rotations will change direction or new rotations will spin up. So West University Place, Greenway Upper Kirby area, Afton Oaks, River Oaks, Southwest Memorial Park, Southside Place, Braeswood, Greater Uptown, South Main, and Spring Branch East. You're potentially near that rotation around 12:10 in the morning, and so this is now the time to take cover. You're going to want to be in your safe place, as we call it, which is going to be an interior location inside the building that you're in. You want to get away from the exterior walls that touch the outside air. Get away from the windows. Don't try to go outside and spot this. You probably won't see it because of the rain and it's dark. You want to get the family awake and get into one of those smaller locations until this storm passes over, and hopefully it passes over without any major issues. But as it stands, we have a tornado warning in effect until 12:15. That's moving off to the east-northeast at 40 miles per hour. So Rachel's driving the radar here. As we look, if you go down to the south a little bit, Rachel, pan a little bit more, seeing some high pixelation right here, but the actual rotating part is in the vicinity of Sugar Land. David, what are you seeing from your vantage point as you slice through that storm?
Well, I'm seeing the rotation, I believe, that prompted the tornado warning in the vicinity of, that looks like Beltway 8, and it looks like it's just to the north of the West Park Tollway now. So there's a couple of areas of potential circulation. There's one back near Sugar Land, the one that you were talking about just a moment ago. And then there's another one that appears to be in southwest parts of Harris County. Again, that's in the vicinity of Beltway 8. And that one appears to be moving towards Hunters Creek at this time. So there's one area of circulation right about there, right over the Beltway. And it's moving in this general direction towards Hunters Creek. And then farther to the south and west, there's this circulation right in here that appears to be just to the east of Sugar Land, and that one is moving in the general direction of Stafford and moving up towards Interstate 69 and the Beltway. So the area out there near the Beltway 8 from West Park Tollway down towards Highway 69 or Interstate 69, there's a couple of areas of rotation in that particular area. And this is a fast-moving storm that's moving moving to the east and northeast at about 40 miles per hour. So watch out if you live in that particular area. Let me see if I can attempt to do a quick storm track. I'm going to storm track each individual area of rotation. Let's see if I can do this on the fly here. 40 miles per hour is what this appears to be moving at. So we can put this down like this and then move it up about like that. And just to give you an idea of the areas that are out ahead of this area of rotation, Bunker Hill, Hunters Creek, Hillshire Village, Galleria, Memorial Park, and the Heights. If the rotation holds together, it would make it towards that particular area. And then farther to the south and west, we can do another one for this particular area of the storm. Let's see here. There we go right there. Always fun to do these on the fly. Bel Air West, Janetta, the Galleria is also in line for that particular area of rotation, and Bel Air Junction. And I want to go back just a little bit to see, I believe a little while ago, the rotation was a little bit stronger than maybe what it is right now. And yeah, you can see right about there is where they issued the warning right as this system was moving along the Grand Parkway. They saw that area of rotation developing right there. It intensified right there near Four Corners. And then that area of rotation appears to be weakening some, but certainly there's some strong winds associated with this particular thunderstorm as it's moving across the Fort Bend County line into parts of Harris County. There's another area of suspicion there that's moving up towards Hunters Creek at this time. And so that is the reason for the tornado warning, and that warning goes until 12:15.
Okay, and we just had a new severe thunderstorm warning issued. Also, we're seeing from the National Weather Service that the fire department up near in northwest Harris County is reporting trees down near Kirkendall Road and Huffsmith Road in Haven Lakes Estates area. So we have our first report of damage locally near Kirkendall Road and Huffsmith Road. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect, and so we're going to pull the radar view out and show you. This is for basically it's going to soon replace the current warning that's in effect for areas east of I-45. The potential here for some damaging wind gusts east of, really along and east of the Highway 59-69 corridor northeast of downtown Houston. This is our new severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 12:30. This line of severe storms was located near Onalaska, near around Lake Livingston, near Cold Spring, to 7 miles east of Cut and Shoot, to near Spring, to central northwest Harris County, and moving east at 40 miles per hour. The main concern here is going to be the potential for some damaging winds at 60 miles per hour and the possibility that there could be brief spin-ups of tornadoes. So keep in mind that as the leading edge of storms is rolling in, there can be these brief spin-ups of tornadoes. We're seeing all kinds of rotation along the leading edge of these storms as they've been working their way through Montgomery and Harris County. So that's our severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 12:30. And Rachel, if you'll go ahead and pan down back to our tornado warning, want to get another eye on that one. This is where we currently have the tornado warning in effect. It is radar indicated, and so David's keeping a close eye on the rotation there. And we now are hearing that there's trees down at in that same region that I mentioned earlier, trees down on a house. And good news from the Weather Service, they just canceled this tornado warning, just wiped it out. Okay, so as David was mentioning, we saw that strong rotation as it was crossing the Grand Parkway in the vicinity of Pecan Grove, and now we have seen that rotation dissipate. But this is the kind of situation we're in right now where we have to stay on guard, because as the leading line rolls its way on through, we'll get these brief spin-ups of tornadoes, and then suddenly, just as quickly as it spins up, it'll spin back down. So if you go under a severe thunderstorm warning, what I'm going to say right now is treat it like it's a tornado warning, because any part of that line could start to rotate and produce a brief tornado with these gusty winds.
And David? Just an update on the damage report that you were talking about just a moment ago. The trees down on a house causing a gas leak, that is associated with what we were talking about 15 to 20 minutes ago in the Haven Lakes area, which is in the vicinity of Kirkendall Road and Huffsmith Road, and that is north and west of Tomball. So we're getting reports of trees down on a house, and it's causing a gas leak. And I just knew knew, Travis, when we got into this situation that we will be dealing with a lot of reports like this because it's been a long time since we've had a line of really strong thunderstorms like this move through. Typically, when these storms come through, they do a good job of pruning the trees. I mean, they get rid of all of the weak branches. And if it's been a while since you've had that and all of a sudden you're subjecting these trees to 60, 70 mile-an-hour winds, you can get some trees to go down and you can get some problems from that particular situation.
Absolutely. And David's pulling off the printer a new severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued for parts of Brazoria, Fort Bend, and Harris counties. What's the latest on that one?
Yeah, here's a severe thunderstorm warning. It goes until 12:30. You've got it up on the radar there, so I'll go ahead and let you read that one.
Yeah, this is a new severe thunderstorm warning. This is what's covering basically the south side of Houston into northern parts of Brazoria County. So hello, friends, hello, Pearland, you're included in this as well. So this is a severe thunderstorm along this line from Piney Point Village to near Thompson's in Fort Bend County, moving eastward at 35 miles per hour. The potential here for winds gusting out at 60 miles per hour. So the potential for some minor damage to roof, the siding of homes and trees. These are the locations impacted: Northwest Pasadena, Pearland, Sugarland, Missouri City, Friendswood, Deer Park, Alvin, Stafford, South Houston, Bel Air, West University, Galena Park, Jacinto City, Manville, Hunters Creek, Bunker Hill Village, Piney Point Village, Cloverleaf, downtown Houston, and the Greenway Upper Kirby area. And again, anytime you get under one of these severe thunderstorm watches, that means that the most intense part of the line's coming through that could produce damaging winds. But there's also the possibility at any point during the duration of that warning, when that line hits you, that there could be a brief spin up of a tornado. Now, the kind of damage it produces might be indistinguishable from what the winds themselves will do. So just be aware that, again, this is the heightened wind threat we've been talking about for a while. Whether it comes from the straight line winds or those brief spin ups of tornadoes is kind of moot at this point. Prepare for the possibility of some damaging winds to roll on through. So this new severe thunderstorm warning goes until 12:30 in the morning. So we have three active severe thunderstorm warnings at this time. Currently, no tornado warnings, but this is a situation where we're going to get these brief spin-ups along the leading edge. Now, when you get back west of the leading edge, so for instance, in Conroe, you've already seen the severe weather threat pass you by. Okay, so if you've made it through fine, you're going to be just fine. As we look off to the west of here, when you get west of Katy now, even into Katy, west of Katy, the storms have cleared out. There are going to be no new storms coming in. This is the main line that's rolling through at this time. Let's do a zoom down view, Rachel, centered right around Houston, Harris County again. As we pan down and zoom in, you can see the leading edge of this is hitting downtown Houston. Look, it's a minute till midnight. Earlier we were saying to be downtown around midnight, and there it is. And this is the leading edge. So really along the Highway 59 corridor, right through downtown Houston, down the Southwest Freeway. That's where the leading edge of the storms is currently pushing through, and that's where we're going to see the potential for the most significant severe weather. And I know David's always got his eye on what the velocity is doing. Are you seeing any new spin-ups along that line?
You know what? I'm seeing a couple of areas, and we're looking in Montgomery County right now, Travis. I see a couple of suspicious areas there. Even if it's not tornadic winds that we're looking at here, we're looking at some very strong winds beginning to approach Interstate 69 or Highway 59 there, from Kingwood to the north to Duquesne and even farther to the north of there. I will pause this and show you exactly where the strongest winds are located. There's one area of really strong wind, which appears to be moving right towards Splendora at this time. So get ready for high wind in the vicinity of Splendora. This line of thunderstorms has a history of knocking down trees, knocking down power. We've got tree reports on houses, in some particular cases causing a gas leak. And so this is some serious wind here that is moving towards the Splendora area at this time. Now, just a little bit farther south, there's also another area of really strong wind that is about to cross Interstate 69 or Highway 59 there, north of Humboldt, just north of Kingwood, or on the north side of Kingwood, and just to the south of the New Caney area. And so let me point that out. That particular area that I'm talking about is this intense area of wind right here. Now, one of the things that the National Weather Service is doing is that every time they put one of these severe thunderstorm warnings out, if they see even a little weak rotation someplace, they tag the warning with the statement that says, well, be watching out for a tornado as well. And I would go ahead and say that about this particular storm because we've got some high wind here, could be a little bit of weak rotation in there, and then we've got another area just to the north of there with the same situation, high wind, that's approaching Splendora. So if you live in parts of southeastern Montgomery County in the vicinity of Highway 59 or to the east of there, watch out for extremely high wind that appears to be moving in your particular direction. And that is the reason for this huge severe thunderstorm warning that stretches all the way from central and northeastern parts of Harris County into parts of Montgomery County, into Polk and San Jacinto County, and all the way up towards the Corrigan area. And that warning goes until 12:30. So that is a long-term warning that's going to be in effect for another 28 minutes or so. Farther to the south of there, we've got another severe thunderstorm warning in effect from around downtown Houston down into parts of Fort Bend County. It also includes parts of northern Brazoria County. And let me see if I can zoom in there. I'm seeing little eddies on the leading edge of this line of storms, which you could take as some weak rotation. There's a little pocket right about there that appears to be just south of Highway 90, right where the Fort Bend toll road comes together with Beltway 8. So that's where that particular circulation is located right there. It's moving in an easterly direction. So if you live between Heker and Alameda, approaching Highway 288, watch out for intense wind there. There's also some strong winds in the vicinity of Bel Air, just to the south of Highway 59 in the vicinity of the 610 loop that is also moving towards downtown Houston and moving towards the Zoo area. So we've got a line of severe thunderstorms that is moving through southeast Texas right now. If anything feels a little strange to you, don't wait for a warning to be issued. Go ahead and take cover because these storms can produce tornadoes with little or no advance warning. And even if they don't produce a tornado, they can produce some serious wind, straight line wind as they move through the area. Notice all the shear markers that we're seeing to the north of Interstate 10 right now, northern parts of Harris County, down towards downtown, up into parts of Montgomery County, up into Polk and San Jacinto County. That by far is the most intense line of storms. And according to what we've been seeing throughout the evening, once this line of storms passes Interstate 45, and it has, it would move into an even more favorable area for development. So it moves into parts of Liberty County, and as it continues to move through Polk and San Jacinto County, we do not expect this line of storms to weaken. We expect this line of storms to continue to hold together and maybe even strengthen a little bit. And if that continues to happen, then we will need to continue to watch this line of storms, Travis.
We did get a bit of good news for a lot of our viewers. The tornado watch has been canceled. As I told you, when that line clears, David's talking about that line clears, you're in the clear at that point. So we've now seen the watch canceled for Brazoria. I'm sorry, the watch has been canceled for Austin, Brazos, Burleson, Colorado, Grimes, Jackson, Madison, Waller, Washington, and Wharton counties. So when you look at the map over here, if you live in one of these counties that's no longer highlighted in red, you can go to bed, okay? The severe threat is over for you, and it will soon be over for many of us along the I-45 corridor as well, as the main event is happening right now. But this is the time we're going to keep careful, watchful eye on this line of thunderstorms. Now, we currently have no tornado warnings, but we do have three severe thunderstorm warnings active. At any point along that line, we could see a brief spin up of a tornado. What we're going to do right now is we're going to come back off of broadcast and go onto our digital stream. So if you want to keep getting updates about this weather, you can join us at abc13.com. You can stream us on your smartphone app at the ABC 13 Houston app as well. If we get a new tornado warning, we'll hop right back onto TV and give you the latest information. Hopefully we can make it through without any major issues, but we've got to babysit this thing for another couple of hours before we can get into the clear. We'll see you back on the digital stream and hopefully not back on TV, but rest assured we'll keep watching this for you throughout the night right here in the Weather Center with David Tillman, Rachel Briers, and myself, Travis Herzog.
is David Tillman here, the ABC 13 Weather Center. We've got a tornado warning that was just issued for a part of Harris County in the vicinity of Hobby Airport. You can clearly see the rotation showing up there just to the west of Hobby Airport. National Weather Service in League City has issued a tornado warning for southeast Harris County and southeast Texas until 12:30. So that goes for about another 12 minutes or so. This is radar indicated rotation. Nobody's actually seen a tornado yet, but Doppler radar is certainly picking up on that rotation that appears to be moving in an easterly direction at about 40 miles per hour. So if it's moving east at 40 miles per hour, that means it is moving right towards Hobby Airport at this particular time. This dangerous storm will be near Edgebrook, the Edgebrook area around 12:20, South Houston, South Belt, Ellington, Meadowbrook, Allendale, Park Place, and Harrisburg, as well as Manchester around 12:25, Deer Park, Northern Clear Lake, Ellington Field, and Southern Houston Ship Channel around 12:30. Again, a tornado warning has just been issued for Harris County. This is southeastern Harris County, and the rotation appears to be just to the west of Hobby Airport, moving to the east at 40 miles per hour. And it is this area that we're showing you here of rotation just to the west of Hobby Airport. Now, I can go ahead and do a storm track on this to better warn in all of the communities in the path of this particular storm about exactly when it might make it to your particular location. And it's moving to the east at about 40 miles per hour. And so let's see here. It would make it to Hobby Airport, according to my storm track, at about 12:22, East Haven at 12:25, South Houston at 12:26, Pasadena at 12:31, and Golden Acres at 12:34. Now, you can see a camera shot there on the left-hand side of the screen. That is our live Hobby Airport camera, and it's showing you what's happening right there. You clearly see in the background there people driving around, not really understanding that a potential tornado could be approaching that particular area. At this time, we're not really seeing
David,
a circulation.
We're seeing transformers, power flashes right now.
Okay.
Of the transformers.
Can we go full screen with this camera shot? Okay, that looked like a transformer right there, Travis, as you said a moment ago.
So this is our live view. There he goes. There goes another one. Just saw another one.
This is a serious situation here.
Another one. Yeah, looks like we have a visual now of a tornado on the ground. If they, I don't know if they can pan that camera any to the right, but when that last power flash was illuminated, you could see a vortex being highlighted when that flash went off. So this is, again, like Dave was saying, a very serious situation because we are seeing power flashes. When we see that, that is a sign that a tornado is on the ground and is disrupting the power grid.
Look at that right there.
So this is a scary view to see. So for those of you that live around Hobby Airport, you need to get into your safe place immediately. We want to get you into an interior part of your home in the lowest level, away from the exterior walls, away from the windows. You want to get into a small room like a bathroom, a pantry, a closet. As David mentions all the time, if you have a baseball helmet, a bicycle helmet, a football helmet, put that on as we continue to see those flashes going off there in the vicinity of Hobby Airport. And this is, again, rapidly moving off to the east. It's crossing 35 at this time, it appears, based on the latest scan that we have from the radar. But it's moving quickly, so it's going to be up along the Gulf Freeway pretty soon. And so those that live along and east of the Gulf Freeway towards the city of South Houston, get ready because this is coming your way as it moves off to the east at 40 miles per hour. We are getting numerous reports of damage all up and down this storm line from the National Weather Service. They just reported that numerous reports of damage are coming in, but this is the most significant rotation that we have seen so far over the city of Houston. And when you see those flashes of power going off, that's a sure sign that you're getting damage being done to the power grid at this time. David, what are you seeing right now on the radar?
And as we look at the radar here, I'll go back in time and then come forward again, and you can clearly follow that area of rotation and it is that bright green and that bright red right next to each other. That's when it was right over Highway 288 at about, that was just a little while ago. And now you see it right over Hobby Airport. We're still seeing these power flashes from time to time, and those trees are really moving around as well. So if this circulation continues to move almost just slightly to the north of due east, that means that the area around South Houston would also be affected by this particular tornado. It would make it there at about 12:26. That's in about 3 minutes or so. And eventually, if it holds together, the south side of Pasadena could be involved in this particular situation. So if you live from Hobby Airport to the east over towards Pasadena, just to the north and northwest of Ellington Field, you need to take your tornado precautions right now, because this is a very dangerous situation. We've seen power flashes, and that's an indication almost every time that a tornado is on the ground. It is doing some damage. Doesn't look like an extremely strong tornado, but any tornado that touches down is a serious situation. And if you live in that particular vicinity, you want to go ahead and take cover. Again, tornado warning in effect for parts of Harris County. The circulation appears to be right near and right over Hobby Airport. It's moving to the east at 40 miles per hour, and in no time at all, that circulation will be in or just south of the South Houston area and in or just south of Pasadena. If it does hold together, it would make it to around Pasadena at 12:31. That is just beyond the tornado warning expiration time, but if that circulation does hold together, it could easily make it over there and continue. A little while ago, I was going to show you the other circulation that I was seeing on our terminal Doppler radar farther to the north, and it is this area right here. Those are some intense winds there just to the west and northwest of Crosby. Let's go back in time and show you how that particular area of circulation is evolving. It appears to be moving in a east-northeasterly direction as well, sort of like this right here. So those of you on the north side of Crosby, watch out for some damaging wind, possible tornado in that particular area. That circulation appears to be just southeast of Atascocita in the vicinity of Crosby and on the north side of Crosby, and it is moving quickly to the east as well at about 40 to 45 miles per hour. So that is another very dangerous circulation that is showing up on our radar right now. But let's get back to Hobby Airport and take another look at that circulation and see what's happening with it. Travis, to my eyes, it looks like the circulation has weakened some, but the circulation is still there, and it's right about, let's see, right about there.
Let's go ahead and zoom down maybe a little more on street level.
Yeah.
Populate on some more streets and some places of significance that we can get a handle on.
Yeah, so it does look like the rotation has weakened just a little bit, but that rotation appears to be in the vicinity of the Gulf Freeway there, East Haven Road, Airport Boulevard. So that's right near Hobby Airport. So right where Airport Boulevard comes together with Hobby Airport is where this circulation appears to be. It is weaker than what it was a little while ago, but it still appears to be there. It is approaching, let's see, Highway 3 from the west at this particular time. The circulation is just south of South Houston, or on the south side of South Houston, I should say. It also appears to be just to the north of Edgebrook Drive. It's right about here. Okay, show you what that circulation is right about there, and it's moving in an easterly direction, sort of like this here. So you can see right where the Vietnamese pagoda is, in the vicinity of Highway 3 is where this particular circulation is going. Now, it looks like we just got an update on the Doppler radar. The circulation is still there, but it is weakened quite a bit, Travis. Do we have any?
We get some more reports of damage coming into trailers in a mobile home park in Stafford. And David, can we go back to the Crosby, the circulation near Crosby, and get street level on that to see, so we can get a better feel for where people live?
Look at that.
Yeah, that is a very strong circulation. I'm surprised they haven't warned on that just yet for a tornado. That'd be FM 2100 is where it's crossing currently.
South Diamond Head in the vicinity of FM 2100. Newport Elementary School is where this particular circulation is located. If we zoom all the way in there, just to the south of Foley Road is where this circulation is located. And this information is coming to us from a radar that's close to the situation. This is the terminal Doppler radar that's done an extremely good job for us this evening and is showing that circulation on the north side of Crosby, in the vicinity of Country Club Drive. Port O'Call Street is also in the vicinity of this particular circulation. The circulation appears to be just south of Foley Road, about to cross FM 2100 at this time. And if it keeps moving to the east, it will cross Miller Wilson Road. It will also cross Ramsey Road. If you live in the vicinity of Ramsey Road, you probably want to take cover because that's a very strong circulation there. If it's not producing a tornado, it is most certainly producing some damaging straight line wind. So we've gotten a lot of reports of damaging wind this evening, and there's probably some damage occurring with that particular area right there. There's another area of suspicion, and this is going to be just northwest of Kennefic, approaching Highway 321 from the west, and that is going to be in west central parts of Liberty County. One more time, let's zoom back down to the circulation that prompted the tornado warning in Harris County. That circulation is located right about there, okay, and that is just north of Alameda Genoa Road, right along Fairmont Parkway now, approaching Spencer Highway from the south. It's this area right in here, and it's moving to the east at about 40 miles per hour. The circulation is not quite as strong as it was just a little while ago. I can show you how strong the circulation was when it prompted the tornado warning right about there. It had quite the circulation on it at that time, but as we go forward in time, you can see that the rotation is weakened, but it's still there. So this could still be producing some wind damage, maybe even a tornado.
And David, we're also seeing, it looks like this might be a situation where we're seeing multiple spin-ups. It appears that there might be a new rotation forming in the vicinity of Channelview, north of I-10. So if we look at the velocity over there, we're also seeing very strong indications of, at the very least, some damaging winds are coming down in Channelview. At worst, we have a brief spin-up of a tornado that is occurring there in eastern Harris County. And so even if you're not technically under a tornado warning, we're saying if you are in a severe thunderstorm warning and along the leading edge of those storms, a tornado can form at any time, in addition to the damaging winds that we continue to see, with multiple reports of damage flowing into our weather center from the National Weather Service. So this is a new circulation that is popping up, is moving out of Channelview and Cloverleaf, and it is working its way now to the east-northeast, moving towards Mantua and towards Highlands, just north of the San Jacinto Monument in eastern Harris County. And that, if it holds together, is going to move towards Mont Belvieu in Chambers County. Now, we just got an update on the tornado warning for Harris County.
Yeah, they've expired the tornado warning for Harris County. So that circulation that we were watching near Hobby Airport has weakened to the point where the National Weather Service went ahead and allowed the tornado warning to expire at 12:30. So, Travis, that is great news there.
Absolutely. But as we saw with our camera earlier, with those power flashes we were seeing, and it looked like a possible vortex was illuminated, I'm expecting that we're going to get some damage reports coming there out from around the neighborhoods around Hobby Airport. So what we're looking at here is not your traditional radar imagery that we typically show you, say, during a flood. This is a severe weather situation. So we're looking at what's called the velocity mode, or the wind mode of the radar. It shows us where we're seeing rotation in the atmosphere. And what we've been noticing is that there are several kinks along the leading edge of this line, and where you see the little wave action, that's an indication of rotation. That's the one in Channelview that now is starting to take over and spin up a bit more. And we're still seeing some of this in the vicinity of Pasadena. And so this is one of those situations where the tornadoes that form along the leading edge, they're going to be short-fused and rather brief, okay? And so if you go under a severe thunderstorm warning, that might be a sign in this situation. It's time to maybe think about waking the family up and getting into a safer spot in the interior of your home as these damaging winds roll through and as the tornado circulations roll through as well. Good news is all of the tornado warnings have expired that were in effect from the National Weather Service. Here is a look at the line. If you live in western Harris County, you're in the clear now when it comes to that. Now, something just caught my eye. That's I-10 East at Monmouth. I thought I saw a big flash and some strong winds. I'm looking at a traffic camera from Houston TransStar that I saw. That really caught my eye there because that's in the vicinity of where we have these strong circulations going. Can we pull, if we're able to pull up that camera at any point, go ahead. There you can see the camera is just rocking around, getting kicked up by those winds. And that is where we also have, in the vicinity of where we have the strong winds being detected by radar near Channelview. And we're also having the showing signs of rotation in this vicinity as well. So this picture right here shows you what is happening when the leading edge of those storms rolls through. And this is what we were concerned about all week long, was the strength of this weather system is unusual for the time of year, and it would produce these damaging wind gusts and the potential for these brief spin-ups of tornadoes, and we continue to see that right along this line. So there it is, I-10 East. This is on the east side of Houston at Monmouth. We continue to see this Houston Transtar camera, and we may have just lost the power because it has gone black. So we're going to get off of that. But this is the circulation that is potentially causing that. Very strong winds right here. Now, when you see this zone that's in the kind of the red-pink color, these are winds that are moving straight southward, coming in off the Gulf of Mexico at speeds of 65 to 75 miles per hour. We call that a low-level jet. So that's rushing up to the north. At the same time, we have the storms coming in from the west, and they're pushing the air eastward. And so you can imagine then you have north here, you have west, an east flow here, a north flow and an east flow. You get that rotation, and that's what we're seeing developing right along that line. We just got a new scan, as you saw right there. We still see the wavy action and the strong winds ahead of it there on the I-10 corridor as we look here on the velocity mode, showing us where we're seeing the spin-ups. Now let's go ahead and pull the view out, and let's go back up and down this line, Rachel, to see if there's been any new spin-ups that we can detect. This is our traditional radar mode. You can see very heavy rain and lots of lightning. Now we flip back into the Doppler wind mode, which shows us where all the rotations are located. And in particular, focus here looks to be now in southwest Liberty County. We're also seeing focus in eastern Harris County. So we're seeing some little notches that are popping up along the way here, along the Highway 90 corridor into Liberty County. And we're also seeing it here along the I-10 corridor in far east Harris County. These are the spots where we could get these brief spin-ups of tornadoes. And if we don't have that, we still have these strong gusty winds, because what's happening here is the storm is pushing out. It's like it's breathing out these, exhaling these gusty winds, and that's why we're seeing, that's what we're seeing going on right now. And you'll notice the colors are flipping around, because what's happening is as we move the map around, we're going to try to get to the nearest radar location. And so it automatically flips to the nearest radar. We've got 3 of them activated right now in eastern, across Harris County. And the reason for that is the closer you are to the radar, the better view you can get closer to the ground of what is actually happening. And when we see this wavy action along the leading edge of the storms, those are favored spots. Every time we see one of these kinks, it's a favored spot for there to be rotation occurring along that line that could produce tornadoes. So the reason we're staying on with this is because at any point we could see another spin up of a tornado. Now, as you get farther off to the south into our coastal counties, closer to the coast, we're not seeing the severe elements that we're seeing on the east side of Houston, down into northern parts of Galveston and Brazoria counties. League City, you are included in this severe thunderstorm warning, and yes, it's possible around League City, Friendswood, over towards Webster and Kemah, that eventually we could see some of these rotating pockets of air work through your neighborhoods that could cause those brief spin-ups of tornadoes. So that's what we're watching. Those of you west of Houston, you have been dropped from the tornado watch. You are no longer included. Once that leading edge passes you by, your threat and risk of tornadoes goes away. But if you look at the icons that show the spinning arrows, that's the computer telling us that we're seeing lots of sign of spin and rotation, and it's all along the leading edge. And when you see them stacked in a long line, that's what usually is primarily damaging wind gusts, and it's what we call straight line winds. When they start stacking one on top of the other, that's when we're getting rotation through the depth of the atmosphere, and you have a tornadic circulation. This is one of those weird situations where you have a combination of straight line winds and you get these tornadoes embedded within it that briefly spin up as they work their way off to the east. So we're drawing a future track on the leading edge of these storms because that will be the most severe part of it, when you'll have the greatest concern that these could cause some damage, and you'll want to make sure that you can protect yourself and your family. So the leading edge of this line is right now basically into Angleton. We're at 1237. It says 1239. It's basically bearing down on Angleton. Liberty in a couple of minutes. Decatur around 1 a.m. Texas City around 1:20. Jasper 1:30. Galveston 1:34. And at Winnie at 1:49. Beaumont just before 2 a.m. So once we get to 2 o'clock in the morning, morning. The areas that we service here in southeast Texas look like we're probably going to be primarily in the clear from the damaging part of this line of thunderstorms. Again, the damaging part is when it first rolls in with the gusty winds that are rushing out and those circulations that are embedded within. Now, I'm scanning the National Weather Service chat room right now, and we're seeing a new report of damage. Let's see. This would be in Montgomery County near Panorama Village. This is a spot, David, that you were paying really close attention to earlier. We're reporting thunderstorm wind damage. Looks like a barn has been damaged on Maggie Lane. So we're continuing to get all of these damage reports that are coming in. And what we're pulling up now is a look at the storm reports that have come in so far. Every time you see one of these orange icons, looks like the wind's blowing out. Those are reports of wind damage. So that's the one that just came in with the report of wind damage there to that barn on Maggie Lane. We've also seen numerous here along Spring Creek, and we've also seen one come in for Stafford. So this is kind of indicative of what this line is doing, and we're going to probably continue to get more reports coming in. Often in the middle of the night, you can't really see the extent of the damage, and so tomorrow morning we'll probably have a few pages of damage reports because of all the winds that we've seen gusting up along this line and the rotation of the embedded storms. Now, I'm going to check in with David and Rachel to see if y'all have your antennas up on anything that you have seen while I've been talking about the current situation. Any new spots of rotation to be concerned about right now?
You know what? We continue to monitor the National Weather Service chat room, and everybody in the community, in the weather community, doing a great job of reporting what's going on out there, Travis. And one of the things that they're saying right now is that an area of circulation is beginning to tighten up just a little bit in parts of Brazoria County. Let's go to Weather Source 5 and let me show you that particular area that we're talking about. And you can see it here on the radar to the south and west of Alvin, to the north and west of Liverpool, right about there. There's Highway 35. That's the same one that leads up to Hobby Airport, of course, that just saw the circulation go across there just a little while ago. I like to back up in time and show you how this area of circulation appears to be evolving. As it was coming across Highway 288, it just looked like some damaging wind. Now that it's getting close to Highway 35, it appears to be acquiring somewhat of a circulation to it there as it moves in that particular direction. So damaging wind potentially moving towards Highway 35 to the south of Alvin, just to the north of Liverpool, and it appears to be moving in an eastward direction right now. I can go ahead and put a storm track on this as well, just to let you know in particular where this particular line of storms is heading at this time. And let's just see if there's any towns or communities in the path. Okay, once it crosses Highway 35 and makes it over towards State Highway 6, it would run into Algoa. And if that particular circulation holds together just before 1 a.m., it would make it to Santa Fe. So those are the communities in the path of tightening winds there in parts of Brazoria County. Of course, we will continue to watch that very closely. Let's move a little bit farther to the south because there also appears to be some angry winds there in the vicinity of Danbury. Danbury is located right about there, right along Highway 35 to the south of Liverpool. So watch out for damaging straight line wind there as well. Let's go to our traditional radar display and give you a look at how things are looking down there. And so you can see some heavy rain is moving towards that area, and these areas of circulation appear to be showing up right along the leading edge, just like we were thinking it would happen there. So right along this leading edge is where we're seeing some strong winds. Could see a severe thunderstorm warning come out for this particular part of the line here as it continues moving to the east. Let's go a little bit farther to the north and see what else is happening there. We still have this long severe thunderstorm warning in effect. This particular warning is in effect until 1:15, so we've got more than 30 minutes to go for this particular one. Some of the cities included in this particular severe thunderstorm warning: Baytown, League City, Pasadena, Pearland. Over 500,000 people potentially affected by this particular storm as it moves to the east. Let me put this into looping mode so you can see how it is moving, and you can see that it's moving in an easterly direction at about 40 miles per hour. Now, typically when we look at these Doppler radar displays, we notice that the most intense part of the storm is where we have the most intense lightning, and you can see the lightning is very intense right around and just to the east of the Livingston area. I can pause this here, right around Cleveland as well. well, and it appears to be marching in an eastward direction. Now, before long, this is actually going to be moving out of a viewing area. You give this about another 30 minutes or so, and the worst part of this storm, the leading edge of it, will start to move farther east towards the Sabine River. But in the meantime, it is all over parts of Polk County right now. Farther to the south, it's moving into parts of Liberty County as we speak. The eastern part of Harris County being pounded with heavy rain, lightning, and thunder. And then we have the tail end of the system near the Angleton area that is also producing heavy rain and lightning. I want to do one more thing here. We've been checking velocity display all evening long. I want to take a look at what's happening with the velocity just to show you all the different areas of circulation and high winds that are on the leading edge of this. Two of them in particular, one just to the north of the Baytown area there, appears to be moving in an eastward direction right between Baytown and Mont Belvieu. So this is approaching State Highway 146 from the west. This area of intense winds is moving right along Interstate 10, the East Freeway there. It's now to the east of Channelview. Channelview, you're getting heavy rain, but the highest wind is now to the east of you and moving away. But those of you around Baytown up to Mont Belvieu, the State Highway 146, watch out for this as it moves in your direction. Eventually, it'll make it to the Grand Parkway there on the east side as well. Then we've got this area right here, which is about to cross Highway 146, just south of Highway 90 there. This one appears to be arcing just a little bit to the north and east, so it's going to continue up in this direction right here. And so we've got intense winds that are moving towards the town of Liberty. So these are some ugly thunderstorms there, Travis, that are on the radar right now that continue to affect parts of southeast Texas.
David, I'm monitoring my social feeds while you were giving that excellent weather report, and I've gotten a few updates here. One is from one of our weather spotters, DJ Tudor, in Channelview. He's got a great weather station that's accurate. It showed winds gusting 64 miles per hour as that storm was rolling through Channelview. Also hearing from someone in Pearland that they've got fence down on 3 sides of their house. They saw a green spark and the power went out. The fence lifted up in the air and flew straight out their window from the neighbor's yard. So these storms are doing some serious damage as the leading edge rolls on through, and that's the biggest concern is when the storms first hit, there's that rush of wind that comes with it and the potential for the spin-ups of the tornadoes. Now, those of you in the western half of Houston, Harris County, the severe threat has passed you by. In fact, when you go north of downtown, west of I-45, you are now in the clear. You travel along I-10 west from downtown all the way towards San Antonio. You're in the clear from the severe weather. The severe weather element focus right now is shifting east of Houston into our eastern counties, Liberty County, Chambers County, Galveston County, into Brazoria County. These are the places where you need to remain on guard and vigilant for the possibility of those gusty winds that can cause damage and also the possibility of brief spin-ups of tornadoes. So those are the biggest concerns that we have going on right here. Okay, Rachel, we're going to show you a different view of the storms from the top, from outer space. We want to show you what's happening on satellite. We have a color-coded satellite that can give us some clues as to whether or not these storms are strengthening or if they are weakening. And what we've been seeing on the satellite is that we're still seeing these shades of bright red and black north of I-10, indicating those storms are still getting very high into the atmosphere. And as a result, they will likely continue to produce wind damage as they roll their way eastward into Louisiana. Something new we've noticed in just the last few frames is we're starting to see some explosive growth to the south as well over Brazoria and Galveston counties. And so these storms are likely going to mean business as well and produce that wind damage, like our viewer reported in Pearland, Samantha Hathaway reporting that damage with the fence line that's been down. Okay, so this is still a very serious situation for those of you that are east now of Houston and down in the coastal counties. You still have the potential for those damaging winds. The tornado watch goes until 4 a.m. More than likely, we're going to be able to clear out just about all of our viewing area from the threat of tornadoes about an hour from now, given how fast all of these things are working. Definitely 2 hours from now. So for most of Houston now, the main event has passed you by. Let's go ahead, Rachel, if we can, and zoom down on the leading edge of the line. We'll start off the top and just kind of pan all the way down the bottom so we can get a feel for exactly where there's that potential for those damaging winds. So those of you in Livingston, you're hearing the rumbles of thunder, but the severe threat has passed you by. It's now moving into Woodville, and as we continue down that line, we can see that as we get into parts of Liberty County, there's still that potential for those damaging winds. Right now moving into Liberty. In fact, if we could go over quickly to velocity mode again, Rachel, I'm going to get another look at what's happening there near Liberty and near Mont Belvieu. If you can zoom down to both of those spots, it appears that we're seeing that kinking along the line where you see that twist. Now, the colors are switching based on because as we go to different radars, it's showing us the direction the wind is blowing. And so green means that it is going towards the radar. Red means that it's going away from the radar site. And so that gives us an indication of the direction that things are flowing. So all these winds here are pushing out to the east, and then we have winds here that are rotating this way. And when we see these little notches developing, that's where there's the potential for a brief spin up of a tornado. At the very least, those notches are indicating that we're seeing where you see the curvature, that's the winds spreading out quickly, the damaging winds that are coming down from those thunderstorms. So those of you in Liberty, get ready. It's coming your way. The strong winds are about to hit. Same for those of you in Mont Belvieu. Now let's keep going down the line, Rachel, and seeing what things look like. We can flip to either mode at this point, but it looks like we're starting to see a little bit of a kink here just off on the east side of LaPorte, headed towards Morgan's Point. So those of you in Morgan's Point, in Baytown, the strong winds are now hitting you. It's now moving its way into Kemah as well. The worst of it appears that it's near the east side of League City down into Galveston County as well. So this is the focus for the potential for those severe winds, and also for the potential for brief spin-ups of tornadoes. We just got a new
Travis,
update,
just a moment ago, Rachel, if you would switch that to the terminal Doppler out of Hobby Airport, and we're seeing something interesting there, approaching Santa Fe from the west.
Oh, there it is.
And yeah, Travis, and yeah, we can back it up and then move forward. You will see that that suspicious area there of spin appears to be intensifying as it's moving towards Santa Fe. So we can give the folks there in the vicinity of Santa Fe some advance notice of what is happening here with this particular circulation. As I've been watching it cross Interstate 35, it appears to be getting a little stronger. It's somewhat broad, but there are some tightness, some tight areas inside of there as well. And it appears to be moving to the east, right towards the vicinity of Santa Fe. So those of you in Santa Fe, be ready, because in about another 10 minutes or so, you've got a really strong line of thunderstorms that appears to be moving in your direction that could produce wind damage. We've gotten a lot of reports of wind damage this evening from these lines of thunderstorms that are moving in that direction. We just got a report from Johnson Space Center of the wind gusting to 51 miles per hour. That appears to be some intense wind there, which could be in the vicinity of beginning to rotate at this time as it's getting close to crossing from Brazoria County into parts of Galveston County where Santa Fe is located. Now there's actually, there we go, we're pixel querying the winds around there to give you an idea about how fast some of the winds are blowing aloft there. And you can see the radar is seeing winds upwards of 70 miles per hour there. We believe some of that is reaching the ground. So if the radar is saying 75 miles per hour aloft, you're probably getting winds of at least 50 miles per hour at the ground. And that 50 plus mile per hour wind is about to cross the Brazoria-Galveston County line, and it's moving in the general direction of Santa Fe. Now, this is somewhat of a rural area down here, but it certainly isn't rural once it makes it over there. There's the tornado warning. Once it makes it over there towards Santa Fe, and that is the reason why we are concerned. So the National Weather Service has just issued a tornado warning for this particular storm. This warning goes until 1:15 a.m. At 12:50, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was near Santa Fe. You clearly see their circulation just west of there, moving east at 40 miles per hour. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. This dangerous storm will be near Santa Fe around 12:55. So that's in about 3.5 minutes that it'll make it to Santa Fe. We've got it at about 12:57. So in about 3 to 4 minutes or so, it'll make it there. It'll make it to Lamarck and Hitchcock at about 1 o'clock in the morning, somewhere between 1 and 1:10. Bayou Vista at about 1:12. Texas City at 1:15. This is a very serious situation. That is a very strong circulation circulation being picked up by the terminal Doppler radar there at Hobby Airport. It's done a great job for us this evening of identifying areas of circulation. And again, this one appears to be moving in the general direction of Santa Fe. Now, can we remove that? That cone just for a second and just back the radar up and then bring it back forward so people can see exactly how that circulation is moving. There we go. You see it's been intensifying ever since it crossed Interstate or Highway 35. It's getting stronger and stronger, and that is a mean-looking storm that if it continues moving the way it is, either central or southern parts of Santa Fe will see this circulation move right in your direction, and that's coming up within the next 5 to 10 minutes or so. Now, there's actually another area of circulation to the south of there, not under a tornado warning just yet, but you see it down there. That circulation not anywhere near as strong as the one that we were watching just a moment ago, but it's another area southeast of Liverpool that we will continue to watch. Right now, the worst of this activity is just west and southwest of Santa Fe, and it's moving to the east at about 40 miles per hour, and that will put it to Highway 6 around Santa Fe in a very, very short period of time, Travis.
So Santa Fe, if you're in Santa Fe and you're with us, you're listening to our voices right now, get into your safe place. Get the family up. You want to get into the lowest level of your building. You want to get away from the exterior walls and the windows. Get into a bathroom, a pantry, or a closet and get low to the ground until this thing passes you by, because that circulation and at the very least damaging winds along that leading edge are coming straight for you. Those of you that are also included in the warning, you're waking up right now in Texas City. You're waking up with us in Lamarck. Good morning. We are looking at these strong winds at the very least coming your way, and there still might be a tornadic circulation embedded within the leading edge of that line. So to refresher, the bright shades of color here indicating the very intense and fast wind speeds, and when you see them coupled close together, that's a sign of rotation in the thunderstorm. Now, this radar is coming up here from Hobby Airport, so these red winds are showing the air moving away from that radar up here. The green one's showing it moving towards, and so there you see where the circulation is, and these are very fast winds that we've been picking up. Hurricane force winds have been being picked up here around that 74, 75 mile per hour threshold. Very strong winds going down Fur Road, right down Highway 6 into Santa Fe, now approaching Highland Road as well. That's the most dangerous part of this circulation. So if you are downstream from this, you've gotten the alert you've gotten the weather alert that you're under it in Texas City, Lamarck, go ahead and get the family in the safe place as well until this thing can pass by. We have been getting numerous reports of damage as this line has been rolling through, not from necessarily tornadoes, but just the gusty winds associated along with the leading edge. We've got power out, we've got fence line down, we've just been getting a lot of damage reports coming in, and so you definitely want to get away from those windows and those exterior walls and get into that safe spot. Let's go ahead and pull the view back out again a little bit there, and let's go ahead and look at a broader view to see if there's any new circulations that have popped up while we've been focused on this one. David has already mentioned that we're starting to see some waviness to the line of winds here down in Brazoria County. This is a very rural part of Brazoria County, but this area of high winds and this that's trying to circulate, this is eventually going to make its way to Galveston Island. So you're in the pipeline, you're downstream from these strong winds and potential tornadic circulation. So we're going to keep a careful eye on this part of the storm as it continues to work its way through far eastern Brazoria County. Let's go back out, zoom out the view again to see what else we can see up and down this line. If there's any more notches that are developing, this is our tornado warning. Again, Santa Fe, it's time to be in your safe spot. As we get farther off to the north, we're seeing lots of indications from the radar computer algorithms, the computations it does. It's showing lots of rotation up here as we get into the leading edge of the line across Chambers County. The winds have gusted up in Mont Belvieu, and so now the strong gusty winds are pushing their way across, are about to move across Trinity Bay towards Anahuac, and eventually working their way through all of Chambers County. So those of you in Winnie and Stoll, it's quiet right now, but get ready because the storm is coming your way. Let's go up a little bit farther to the north as we get deeper into farther north into Liberty County. We have seen the gusty wind line roll right through Liberty County as well. Daysetta, get ready. It's coming your way very soon, and you will have those strong gusty winds as well. Okay, so that's where we're seeing the leading edge of the storms. Back into Houston now. We can go ahead and flip over to the regular radar mode just to show the intensity of the storms. All of the lightning strikes and the heavy rain is largely to the east of Houston. Most of Houston now is in in the clear from any more threat from tornadoes and damaging winds at this time. It's along the leading edge where we have the worst of this. And we're going to continue to watch where we're seeing those spin-ups down there in Galveston County, and possibly also headed towards Galveston Island a little farther to the south, where you have now east of Angleton. So a lot of us now are in the clear from tornadoes and high winds, but we're still seeing this in the eastern part of our viewing area as these storms race off to the east at roughly 50 miles per hour. We have a live shot now coming in from Deborah Wrigley, where a tree has fallen into a home and caused a gas leak. And this is some of that damage that we observed earlier in northwest Harris County when that line was first showing signs of rotation and gusty winds. And so that is the tree that has fallen down into the home and has prompted a gas leak. We also now have reports that in Bel Air, we have structural damage to the gas station at Buffalo Speedway and West Orm Road. That'd be, I guess, be 6 miles south of Bel Air, but structural damage to the gas station at Buffalo Speedway and West Orm Road there in southwest Harris County, southwest part of Houston. So I have a feeling, David and Rachel, that we're going to see a lot more of these damage reports come in, and sunlight will illuminate exactly what it is that has happened as this line of storms has rolled on through. We're going to go live now to Deborah Wrigley to tell us more about what she's seen on the ground there in northwest Harris County. Deborah?
Travis, this neighborhood was in the path of what some people here believe was a tornado, and it struck just about 11 o'clock. That's about 2 hours ago. And you just mentioned that particular house. The pine tree from the neighbor's property fell on this home. There was a gas leak. It was said to be more outside, but there was some gas detected in the kitchen. And what the owner said tree did was basically crush the kitchen, or certainly the roof over it. This first floor seems to be intact there. But the gas utilities were disconnected, so that's no longer a threat. But what a mess here, and there are other homes on this street. It's in spring, and because there's not much light, if we pan down there, you're not going to see a lot. But suffice it to say that there are tree branches, small ones albeit, in the street, but you can get some sense of the tree limbs that are at that home. There's another home that has some damage. This one, I think the people left simply because the neighborhood is now dark. There is no power in the neighborhood, and the folks here are leaving as well. But what could have been something very tragic was averted. The couple has an infant, a little girl, and their first thoughts were just to get the baby out of there before anything else had happened. And the owner said it felt the home shook, and it sounded like a tornado. It was, in fact, the neighbor's pine tree, and you can get a sense. Look how big that tree is. It's probably at least 20 feet tall, and it is now resting on top of that house. So whatever this was, straight line winds or a tornado, it did damage here. And the owner said he heard all the warnings about the storm. Everyone was staying inside, and then it tore through here. Travis?
All right, thank you for that report, Deborah. And this is a scene, I believe, that's being repeated all across southeast Texas at this time because of the long extent of this line and the damaging winds it's been throwing down along the way with these brief tornadic spin-ups as well. So we have an active severe thunderstorm warning that includes parts of Polk County, Liberty County, Chambers, eastern Harris County, into extreme northeast corner of Brazoria County and northern Galveston County. And then this pink area that you see, that is our active tornado warning that we have in effect for Santa Fe. We just got some new information as well on the tornado watch. We have seen a lot of counties dropped out. So as we mentioned, once the leading edge passes you by, if you make it through that just fine, you're going to be fine in terms of damage. We now have Walker County is out of it, San Jacinto County is out of it, Montgomery County has been cleared out, Harris County has been cleared out, Fort Bend County has been cleared, and Matagorda County has now been cleared out of the tornado watch. Remaining in the tornado watch, that'd be Liberty County, Chambers County, Galveston County, and Brazoria Brazoria County, you remain under the tornado watch, but most of the line has cleared through the populated areas of Brazoria County. So most of Brazoria County is now in the clear as well from the potential for those damaging winds and tornadoes. But those of you that are in mainland Galveston County and Galveston Island, you have yet to get the really strong gusty winds to roll in, and the eastern half of Chambers County is still awaiting the arrival of that thunderstorm. Okay, so we just got an update on the tornado warning. David, what is that saying for us right now? From the
Well, it says the tornado warning remains in effect until 1:15 for west central Galveston County, but the tornado warning is canceled for east central Brazoria County. So Galveston County is where the tornado warning is in effect right now. At 1 a.m., severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located near Santa Fe, moving east at 40 miles per hour. The dangerous storm will be near Lamarck at 105, Bayou Vista at 110, Galveston Causeway and Tiki Island at around 1:15. So 1:15 is about 13 minutes from now. That is when it's going to make it to Galveston Causeway and Tiki Island if that circulation holds together. So this is a dangerous situation. The storm is in the vicinity of Santa Fe, moving into Lamarck as we speak, and it is not too far away from Galveston Island as well. And storms, for some reason, and I believe it's because there's always some unstable air near Galveston Island, they tend to intensify as they get closer and closer to the coast there. They run into all of that moisture and they begin to get stronger. So this circulation could hold together as it continues moving east into Texas City, into Hitchcock. It's just near and just past Santa Fe at this particular time, moving towards Lamarck. And if that circulation holds together, it'll be near the causeway and very close to Galveston.
And the other thing about Galveston Island is there's just water around it, so there's nothing to stop those winds from flowing at a really fast pace, no friction to slow it down like we have in the more heavily forested parts of our viewing area. So where you see the change, the transition in colors from red to green, that's the leading edge of the gusty winds that is rolling its way down Highway 6. It's rolling through Santa Fe, almost into Hitchcock now. We're not seeing the same tight rotation that we had earlier, but there's still definitely rotation. And where you see the curved segments, at the very least, that's indicating that we have very gusty winds that are flowing out and about through that thunderstorm. New update just came in of the wind speeds and the motions. And here is where we see that wavy pattern now approaching Hitchcock, the northwest side of Hitchcock. And so this will continue working its way off in that easterly direction. As we back it up and move it forward, you can kind of get a feel for the motion here as this works its way off to the east. And these storms are moving quickly. That's one reason why they're packing such strong winds. It also means that the strong winds don't last all that long, but when they hit with fury, and that's when they can quickly start causing some forms of damage. Let's pull the view out for all of southeast Texas so we can get a broad view of what's happening here, and we'll go back to our regular radar mode to show you where the thunderstorms are most intense. A lot of lightning activity here on the eastern side of the line, and we're seeing very intense rain. Now, we're also noticing in Liberty County, we're seeing a lot of rotation from the computer calculations that are run, these algorithms. We call these shear markers. We're seeing a whole bunch of those along the leading edge of the line in Liberty County, which is a likely indication that we're still getting damaging wind gust potential here in Liberty County. Now, that said, the worst of this has already passed through Liberty, but it continues working its way off to in an easterly direction as it moves its way over toward day setup. Now, we're still seeing a little bit of curvature. We're nearing the edge of where the radar can really get a feel for the Doppler winds and which way that they're moving, but we are still seeing some signs of curvature along the leading edge of that part of the line in Liberty County. So let's just go ahead and leave it in regular radar mode right now and pull the view back out. And let's do this, Rachel. Pull the view out and let's draw a future track on the leading edge of the storm line so we can kind of get a feel for when we'll finally be in the clear from the leading edge causing the damage that's been passing through our region. So Rachel's drawing the storm track. She's going down the length of the storm line all the way down to near Freeport in Brazoria County and extrapolating that off to the east. And this is what pops up. It's pretty much bearing down on Deseta right now. Around 1:30, it's into Koontz. Around 1:39, it's to the east end of Galveston Island, into the city of Galveston Island. 1:51, it's into Winnie. Beaumont, a few minutes past 2 a.m. Nederland, about 2:23. Port Arthur, around 2:35. Fort Polk, around 2:50. So once we get here into the 2 o'clock hour. The leading edge of that line is pretty much out of southeast Texas, where our broadcast signal goes, and it's more moving into Beaumont and southwest Louisiana over toward Lake Charles. So the leading edge of this line, again, for those of you who've got loved ones maybe in Louisiana, you can tell them this is what's coming your way, because we are looking at some very strong gusty winds along the leading edge of that line. As we look up into northeast parts of Texas, it's cleared out of Lufkin. Tornado warning here northeast of Lufkin. Severe thunderstorm warning and tornado warning near Shreveport. So this line is stretching a very long distance from the Gulf of Mexico all the way up into the Midwest. A very powerful storm system that continues to roll its way on off to the east, about 40 to 50 miles per hour. The line has slowed down just a smidge. It's been started to be encountering some stronger winds that are trying to slow it down just a little bit. So we have the tornado warning. What time does the tornado warning expire again for those that are in Galveston County? Is that a...
That will be 1:15 a.m. is when that warning expires.
Okay, so we've got about 8 more minutes left on that tornado warning here in Galveston County. This does not include Galveston Island. It's mainland Galveston County. You're not included in that in Dickinson nor in League City. It's more the southern half, so that does include the cities of Lamarck and Texas City. And let's go back into the velocity mode, Rachel, and see if we've got a new scan that can give us a feel for what's happening here. So from about San Leon to the southwest across 146 and where Highway 3 and the Gulf Freeway, that's about where we're seeing the leading edge of the gusty winds, and where you kind of see this curvature in the line, that's where we're seeing those really strong gusty winds coming down, and it's along these curves, especially this northern part of the curve, where you can get the tornadoes to spin up. So that's what prompted the warning. The circulation looked incredibly strong as it was just west of Santa Fe. It does not look as strong anymore, but it's probably still producing damaging wind gusts as it works its way towards Texas City and Lamarck. So Rachel, if you will, go ahead and zoom out a little bit more around the vicinity of the Gulf Freeway so we can get a more street level view of where that leading edge of the line is. So we'll zoom down on the Gulf Freeway and get really tight down. Just get to there we go. So Hitchcock, the leading edge has gotten to you. Lamarck, it's on the west side of Lamarck right now. Bayou Vista, Texas City, you've got maybe 5 more minutes to get into a safer location before that leading edge of the gusty winds reaches you. And then let's go to the north. Let's go pan up a little bit to the north till we get to the northern part of that warned area. So we're already seeing this in the outskirts of Lamarck and Texas City on the northwest side where we have the gusty winds. As you get back up the Gulf Freeway, up towards FM 517, up towards Friendswood, the worst of this has now passed you by. The worst of it's passed you in Pearland as well. And so the focus is going to continue to be here more to the southeast corner of mainland Galveston County, and then eventually into Galveston Island as well for the worst part of that. Let's pull the blue back out again and show the regular radar picture. Also want to check the cloud tops to see if we're seeing any signs of strengthening or weakening of these thunderstorms. But here's the radar view. These are the cloud tops. They're color-coded, and what we're looking at is a top-down view. So the satellite in outer space is looking down at the tops of the storms, and it's saying, okay, what's the temperature of these storm clouds? That gives us clues as to what the storms are doing. And when we see these bright reds and black shades popping up, that's a sign that the storms have punched really high into the atmosphere, and they are producing likely severe weather. And we're seeing down here towards Galveston County, we're starting to see some shades of black that are popping up, and so that does have me concerned that we're going to continue to see gusty winds through the rest of Galveston County as this line works its way out into the Gulf of Mexico. Back to the west of here, west of Houston, you see that the colors have dropped out, indicating that the storms have come to an end. And David, I see you've got a new paper printed out there.
Yeah, tornado warning for west central Galveston County will expire at 1:15. So that is good news. The storm which prompted the warning has weakened below severe limits and no longer appears to be capable of producing a tornado. Therefore, the warning will be allowed to expire at 1:15. However, gusty winds are still possible with these thunderstorms, and of course the storm could recycle and become tornadic again, so we'll need to continue to watch it. But at least for right now, they're going to go ahead and let the tornado warning expire at 1:15, and that's in just about 4 minutes or so from now. So that is some good news for those people along Highway 6 and the Gulf Freeway there.
Yes, and a new damage report I see just came in of a power pole sheared in Pearland in the vicinity of Magnolia Street and 1128. Damaged pole caused damage to adjacent poles. So we no doubt have some power outages going on. I'm not sure if we've yet seen anyone pull up the CenterPoint power outage tracker to see just how extensive this is. What you're looking at right now are storm reports that have come in so far. I have a feeling we're going to see a lot more of these trickle in during the day once the sun comes up and we see the extent of the damage that's been caused by this line of showers, or this line of severe thunderstorms that continues to roll its way in off to the east. Okay, so for a lot of us now, the vast majority of us, the threat of the severe weather is over, but it's still ongoing for those of you in extreme eastern Brazoria County, mainland Galveston County, the southern part of that, and then towards Galveston Island. A new severe thunderstorm warning has just been issued along the leading edge of that line. That severe thunderstorm warning is going to go until 2 a.m. And then once this expires, I think we're pretty much going to be in the clear for all of our viewers. What does it say, David?
Yeah, severe thunderstorm warning in effect for central Galveston County, southeast Brazoria County, Chambers County, southeastern Liberty County. The main hazard with this particular one, of course, is 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, so not really expecting any problems with hail with this particular one. At 1:10, severe thunderstorms are located along a line extending from Saratoga to near Anahuac to near San Luis Pass to 17 miles south of Freeport, moving east at 35. So even the forward speed beginning to slow down just a bit, but the storm could still produce wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. And let me go ahead and name all of the locations potentially impacted by this, and it's quite a few. Galveston Causeway, Galveston Island West End, Texas City, Lamarck, Hitchcock, Beach City, Surfside Beach, Galveston Pier 21, Anahuac, Bayou Vista, Jamaica Beach, Tiki Island, Daysetta, Devers, San Leon, High Island, Shoals Field, Port Bolivar, and Galveston Pleasure Pier, all in the path of this severe thunderstorm, which could produce damaging wind. And even though you do see the pink polygon there, the tornado warning is going to expire at 1:15. It is no longer rotating like it was just a little while ago.
That's certainly good news. So we're going to stay on top of these storms through the rest of the night until that last warning expires for our region. Right now, we're going to go down from broadcast, go back to our digital stream. So if you want to continue to follow our coverage, you can go to abc13.com and watch it there, or you can stream it from the ABC 13 Houston News app on your smartphone. If a new tornado warning pops up, or if we see a circulation beginning to develop, we will hop right back here on ABC 13 to give you the very latest. Thanks for joining us tonight. I hope you remain safe and are able to get some good sleep.